What's going guys, Zenos here, and today in this video of Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War, let's talk about the top 5 guardians, or let's say the top 5 tanks in this game. Those heroes who can take solid punch from the opponents and still keep standing. Alright, the first hero unit is definitely going to be Ingway. This guy is superb. Just look into his first active skill. He can provoke the opponents just like that, and he can transfer one debuff from himself to the enemy's hit, and which can be really helpful. You know why? Because whenever he doesn't have any kind of like active debuffs on him at the end of the turn, he recovers 12% of HP lost, which is really cool, guys. I mean, like, just think about it. Auto regeneration of his health, that is really cool in my opinion. But if his health goes below 30%, he gains increased defense for one turn as well, which definitely is going to improve his individual survival rate. And even if he's going to face against the opponents like 1 versus 5, and he's still going to take a lot of damage against them and still keep standing thanks to his passive skill effects or the active skill effects. Okay, so there we go, guys. And he additionally can have a 35% chance to counterattack when receiving an enemy's melee attack right over there as well. So you can expect to get some really good DPS output from him as well, thanks to that passive counter attack system that he has. That is really cool, isn't it? Don't you think so? And a 30% chance to apply continuous recovery on himself for 2 turns as well, for that extra health regeneration, and which I think is definitely amazing. And depending upon the condition, I mean like situation, definitely that block HP recovery for the enemy's hit is definitely going to be quite helpful, especially against certain conditions where opponents are really good at recovering their own HP, and you would not really want that to happen. All right, so that is also one another condition right over there, guys, which Ingway really does handle really excellently, really magnificently. That's what I have to say. The next unit is going to be the Beelzebub. This guy right over here is superb unit indeed. He's very unique in his skill sets, and let's discuss why. Okay, he can definitely provoke the opponents. Being able to provoke as a tank is definitely a must-have thing, because like when you can provoke the opponent, the provoke targets attack the provoker essentially like forcibly. Okay, and the provoke target can use only skill number 1, or let's say the first active skill only. They will not be able to use those kind of skills that has the cooldown in it, and that really deteriorates their effectivity during the battle period. So there we go, guys. All right. And the next thing is that his second active skill is what makes him really amazing. Just look into it, guys. The area of effect is really large, very large indeed. And successful hits silence the enemy hit for one turn, and there is not even a probability chance. It's like a 100% chance right over there. If there's a successful hit against the opponents, what's going to happen? They are going to get silenced, and if you are going to improve this skill, the cooldown will be reduced by 1 turn, and also the effect duration will be improved by +1 turn, meaning successful hits can silence enemies hit for 2 turns. That is really cool. And you might be asking, what does silence really do? It prevents a target from using the skills with cooldown right over there, just like that. That is so cool. Indeed, it can really interrupt, or let's say disrupt, the battle momentum of the opponents and make them really effectiveless indeed. I mean, like, if they cannot use their main skills, then like they're pretty much paper, right? So that is it. And the next thing is gonna be the energy drain, which is really helpful indeed for him to stay alive. He's going to recover 80% of the damage inflicted as HP. That is really cool indeed. And on top of that one, he can also reduce the target's defense as well for freaking 2 turns, meaning the damage output against those opponents can be really amplified. So really a good utility effect right over there as well. Okay, so there we go, guys. And the cooldown can also occur for all his skills by 1 turn as well. That can really like make him more effective as well. And that is that, guys. And just like Ingway, he also has a 35% chance to counter attack when receiving enemies melee attacks as well. So definitely a little bit of more DPS that you can look forward to. So this guy Beelzebub, be happy when you get him. He's really a top tier unit, and you definitely want to have him as your tank because of the extra DPS that he provides, and really a good survival rate that he provides to himself, which definitely is quite cool. And on top of that one, being able to silence a large area of opponents is definitely cool indeed. I mean, let's just look into it, man. The effect, the area effect is just too huge. The next candidate is going to be the Eligos. This guy is pretty amazing as well. Why? Well, let's look into it right over here, guys. Okay, first of all, guys, he can provide himself the continuous recovery. That is really helpful for him to keep on gaining that extra HP right over there. And well, guys, he can also grant that reflect status effects to himself as well as the all allies that can improve the DPS against the opponents. I mean, like, being able to reflect the damage is definitely quite amazing. Look at it, guys. Reflects a portion of damage back to the attacker. However, it does not nullify debuffs. Okay, so that is that. Anyways, let's look into the third active skill right over here, which says that he will be able to provoke the target and reduce their defense by 1 turn, meaning like you will be able to maximize the damage against those opponents. And being able to provoke, that means those provoked target will not be able to use their main skills, only that basic skill, and they are forced to attack Eligos, and that really allows like your team to have a breathing space while your certain squishy hero units are near that situation. Okay, being able to provoke is really cool enough indeed, and that's what I really think. When it comes to his passive effect, that's even better. Just look into here, guys. Counterattacks the enemy after receiving a crit hit. So whenever he receives a critical hit, he's just going to counterattack right away. 100% chance right off the bat. Eligos combats instincts grow stronger as he loses HP. So at below 70% HP, his mobility will be increased by 1 turn. And guess what, guys? For 1 turn. And then like below 40% of his max HP, he gains a shield for 15% of max HP. Like, what? That is really cool, guys. I mean, like, just think about it, man. Being able to provide himself the continuous healing, and also on top of that one, being able to provide a shield for himself is definitely going to make him a really bulky tank indeed, who can really like take on a lot of damage head on against the opponents. And definitely that will be a really good utility that you want to have around. And this guy is superb. This is really superb, guys. And being able to increase his mobility as well, that's going to expand the area in which he can move. So definitely his mobility will be quite an amazing addition to your gaming performance. All right, so that's the Eligos. The number 4 unit, that's going to be this girl right over here called the Nyxia. She's a self buffer. She can really intake a lot of damage thanks to a lot of things that she provide to herself. First of all, she can provoke the opponent, and that is really cool. And being able to provide the continuous recovery is also a really great thing to stay alive most of the time, and that's really good. With her second active skill, she can stun the opponents if she can critical hit them. Okay, and that is really cool. Just look at that. The target area is pretty great as well. Being able to stun the opponents is definitely going to help you guys to build more effective plans against the opponents. The opponents will not be able to use any kind of actions or like trigger any kind of actions when they are stunned. And stun is definitely one of the negative status effects that you would really want to inflict against the opponents in any kind of RPG games out there. And see, not only stun the opponents but also reduce the mobility of the enemy's hit for 1 turn as well. And that's super cool. When it comes to a third active skill, she can decrease the attack of the opponents for freaking 2 turns. All right, there we go, guys, if the enemies is not killed. And guess what, guys, she's also having a lifesteal property right over here. Successful hits recover 15% of the damage inflicted at HP, which definitely is going to aid her to sustain herself even more further. And that is really cool, guys. And this stigma of the fallen angel is gonna keep on helping her to get rid of those debuffs as much as possible all the time. Okay, and that makes Nyxia a very unique hero unit indeed. But well, as a light hero unit, she is pretty rare to find out, but once you get her, she is definitely a really great addition to your team. But the best tank in this game, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I would say she is the best tank in this game. That's gonna be the Titania. Well, it's gonna be really hard to get her because she's a dark unit, but well, once you get her, wow, I mean, like, your luck is insane, guys. Okay, so please do keep that in mind. So what is it really about her that makes her so special? First of all, she's a dark element hero unit, all right off the bat. And the main thing that really sets her apart is that she is going to grant all allies with a shield for 12% of max HP at the end of the turn. Just think about it, guys. Every time. It's a passive effect. It's not even an active effect. just like in the passive way, she's going to provide that 12% of max HP to everyone, okay, regardless of like whichever the tile they belong to or how far they really are. As long as they are within the map, she's going to provide that 12% of the max HP equivalent of shield to every freaking one, you know, like those allies that you have. And that is really cool indeed. This just improves the overall sustainability of your entire team, and that makes Titania very, 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 very effective indeed. It's really good for both PvE or the PvP contents, whatever that is, okay. And with the guard, she holds the defensive stance to protect you and the surrounding allies. How? Removes one debuff from you and surrounding allies and grants increased defense for 1 turn, okay? And the effect duration can be improved by +2 turns if you improve this skill right over there, guys. And that is really cool, being able to increase the defense for like 3 turns. Wow, that's something that I would really want to have around. That is really great, isn't it? And when it comes to the second active skill, that's going to be the shield pushing right over there. Successful hits have 50% chance to provoke the enemy's hit for 1 turn. There we go, guys. All right, and she slams the area, meaning like she can provoke the multiple opponents right over there. And as I've told you guys earlier, provoke really is very helpful, you know, like in the battle contents, especially in the PvP content, where you are supposed to disrupt the battle momentum of the opponents by making sure that they attack the tank and they will not be able to use their main skills, or let's say the second active skill or the third active skill. They are just fixated to the first active skill, and that is that, guys, okay. And look into that. If you just keep on improving this skill, it's just going to be more better and better. And that is it, guys. The thing is that like it's really gonna be hard to get her, but once you get her, consider yourself very, very, very lucky indeed. And that's Titania for you guys. Just as a summary, right over there, the first is definitely going to be the Ingway, one of the most popular hero unit out there, who is really good at providing the self-sustenance, and thanks to that counter attack, he's also going to improve some DPS against the opponents, okay. So there we go, he's not just going to just take the damage right over there, he's also going to retaliate as well. And the next unit definitely going to be the Beelzebub. He's very good unit indeed, who is very, very effective, especially in the PvP contents, thanks to his silence field, or let's say second active skill, which can silence a large area of opponents, okay. That is really cool. And he also does have very good self-sustainable skills or effects, and that's definitely going to help him to stand firmly against the opponents. And third opponent is going to be the Eligos, really providing himself a very good amount of like those things called continuous heal, and also so many other things depending upon his HP levels, and that makes Eligos very, very effective right over there. While the Nyxia is a very good solid tank right over there. She actually doesn't provide anything for the team, but when it comes to herself, she is really quite good at sustaining so many damage incoming from the opponents. All right, and definitely the best tank that I would really love to say is going to be the Titania, because like she just provides that shield for every freaking one in the map, regardless of the distance, okay. Whatever the tile they really are in the current situation, they are still gonna get those shields. And at the end of every turn, it's a passive effect. Like how better it can actually get, okay. That is really cool in my opinion, and being able to increase the defense of the allies by up to 3 turns is super cool indeed. I like that one. And she also can provoke the opponents as well. What more do you expect from a tank? What more can you ask from a tank? She actually does provide everything that you would really want from a tank. All right, and that's the Titania. All right, this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel. See you guys in the next video.